So now that you've understood the definition of a Jupyter method, it takes just 4 lengths, K1 to K4, then you have the general formula here. So whatever you have to do from here now is, let's take a question. Let's take a practice question. This question says, find y of 0.2 for y prime. You know what y prime is, the y ds now. So see the function right there now, x minus y over 2. This is still okay enough to not really stress us. So now, in this case now, we're given x not to be equals to 0, y not is equals to 1. I think they did not code this one, it has been decoded for you. Whereas they will have written it as y of 0 equals to 1. So you see the same thing. Okay. So then I said with step length 0.1. So you're asked to use Jupyter using Jupyter. This is Jupyter fourth order method. Fourth step. So using Jupyter 4 method, RK4 method. We call it RK4 method. Jupyter RK4 method. So this is the question here. I want to look for y of 0.2. So how many steps am I taking? 0 to 0.1 to 0.2. That's all. Just 3 iterations. Have you now? So to solve this now for the solution to this now, where will I start from? Okay, I already know my x naught to be 0, my y naught is 1, my step length is 0.1. So I will now start with all these steps, these 4 steps. Okay, so I'll start with K1. Without checking the formula at all, I can still remember the formula for K1. K1 says you have h multiplying f of xn, yn. Do you agree with this? So which implies that my K1 is equals to my step length is 0.1, Abi. Then I need f of, okay, when generally I need to start my first iteration. Generally when n is equals to 0, Abi now. I think that was how we need to start. So this is what x naught, what y naught. Here you grab. N is 0, y is 0. So that's 0.1. So you remember the way I've been doing it. F of x not y naught. I'll just come straight to this. What was my f of x, y? This is it. I should have written it up here. So my function of x and y, let me see it up here, is what? X minus y over 2. Here you go. So then if I want to look for f of x naught, y naught, I'll just come here and write x naught, y naught over 2. So I believe this should give us 0.1 times x naught minus y. What's my x naught? 0 minus y naught 1 over 2, right? So in this case now, I have 0.1 times minus 0.5, right? This is minus 1 over 2. So if I multiply this and this together, the result is minus 0.05. So I've gotten just K1. I will still repeat though, but that takes a lot of time before you arrive at the same final answer. But thank God it's just y of 0.2. That's what we are looking for. So we need to complete all the steps. So what I used to do here is that, in order for me not to get confused, that is K1, I used to separate it. Can do that in exam or two. Separate it so you really know where you stop. Now K1 I just did. I know I made into. If I've gotten this one, that will stand as my y1. Then the next one should be my final answer. I'll repeat the same. I'll start afresh again and get my y of 0.2. So now I've gotten my K1, you can mark up. So next thing is to get K2. So my K2 now is what? Write out the formula first. The formula says h of this function. Now in this case, instead of having just ordinary xn will be added with half of the step length. Here you grab. Then comma. The same yn plus, instead of having h, the result I have for my K1 will be divided by 2. I think this was how I explained. This was the formula I explained, right? So if I want to substitute now, what would that be? So my K2 now will be, because my step length is already 0.1. F of, remember I'm still under when n is 0 for this. So I should have x naught here. X naught plus, what's my step length? 0.1, have you?
0.1
over 2, comma, no, let me just put it this way, comma, this one, y not, have you? Plus, what's my k1? K1 is what? You say it did very, very corny. Minus 0.05 over what? Over 2. So you guys be very careful. So now what I will now do from here is k2 is equal to 0.1. Open a bracket. This is now f of, what's my x naught? 0. Abi? My x naught here is 0. So I will just have 0.1 divided by 2. And 0.1 divided by 2, that will be 0.05. Show you graph. This one like this is already 0.05, comma. Show you get my point. This one is now y naught, abi? That's 1. Y naught is 1 now. So when I press 1 minus 0.05 over 2 into my calculator, you will get this result, 0.975. I think that's what I have here. Myself, that's what you get. Are you following? So you see all this shit that is there now is already this one. This one is already this. Okay? So when I have this result, do you know what I'm going to do next? This is 0.1. Then that means in this case now I'm having f of this comma this. This is my x, this is my y. Just to slot it here. My x minus y over 2, right? What's my x now? My x is now 0.05 based on what I see here. Abi? Minus, what is my y? My y is already 0.975. Then over what? Over 2. You solve this out to get your final answer. So if you punch this into your calculator, everything will be here like this. What you get? I think if you do this one, if you do all this one, you get minus 0.4625. So when you shall press everything like this on calculator, the result is minus 0.04625. Remember that I said Dr. Usu, if you check the previous past questions, and assist decimal place with all this use. Even though if you even write this one like this, okay, if you put 00, but the 00 is useless in that case. But make sure say if you're given an instruction of 6 decimal places, make sure you correct it to 6. I'm very sure there's another value after this. I'm very, very sure of that. I think the example I'm using here, I think that the target just 5 decimal places. So if it's 6, follow 6 decimal places. So I think I've gotten my result for K2. K2 is minus 0.04625. You underline again. You still go and do K3. You see, and I never reached my final answer. So you guys go to K3. Same thing, K3. Remember the formula. The formula is HF of what's that? Okay, let me just put dot here. Times f of what? Remember, still remain as xn plus h over 2, comma, while this one still remain as yn instead of k1. This is like k1 we use for here. So for k3 now k2 go be the previous step before this one, k2 over 2. Check the follow now. Then you guys substitute. My step length is 0.1, abi, times f of what's my x? I'm still on that x naught now. I'm still on that n equals to 0. I'm still at this first iteration when n is equals to 0. Abi now. So this one will now be what? I'm using this square bracket. So my n is still mean as 0, as n is still 0. Step length is 0.1 over 2, comma, my y naught plus what's my k2? See the k2 value here. Let's put that complete for here. Minus 0.04625. 4625 over 2. So 0.1 times, you just add times, or you put everything inside bracket and now you want it. F of my x naught is 0 now, right? 0 plus 0.1 over 2. That's 0.05, abi. 0.05. Then comma. What's my y naught? 1. 1 plus this one. 4625 over 2. This is what we have here. So what I was just want to tell you now is that in this case now, if you add this together, you still have 0.05, comma. If you try to punch this into calculator, everything here, this will be your result, 0.97688. Mind you, to 5 decimal places. That's what we are considering in this case. So what will not be your final answer for K3? This result here, remember that your f of x comma y, your f of x comma y is x minus y over 2. So my x now is 0.05. So I'll substitute 0.05 in that case, minus, what is my y? This 0.97688. Share you grab, then over 2. So therefore my K3 now is, if I try to put this into calculator, 0.1 times all this expression here. So if you multiply it together, this is what you have as your final result for K3, minus 0.04634. Then you take it off again. I've gotten K3. Still on, I've gotten this and I've tried this one. So I need K4. So what's now my K4? K4, you don't need to divide this template into half. So it's still made as h times f of, so remember that for K4 is just xn plus, instead of h over 2, just h, share graph, then comma, yn plus, instead of h, you now have, instead of this one would now be k. What was the previous one before this? That's K3. So this is how K4 works. So my h is step length 0.1 times f of, I'm still on x naught when n is 0. My step length is 0.1, right? Then comma, my y naught still mean as, okay, my y naught plus, what's my K3? This result. So I got right down, minus 0.04634. That's what I got as my K3 before. So in this case now, I should have 0.1 times f of x naught plus, x naught is what? 0.0 now. Then plus 0.1, comma, y naught is 1. That's 1 minus 0.04634. So in this case now, if you add up 0 and 0.1, this 0.1 times f of 0 plus 0.1 is still 0.1, comma, 1 minus this 0.4 blah blah blah, that is there. The result is, if I subtract this and this together, I will get 0.95366. Let's take note of that. So in this case, this is a function in terms of x comma y, and my f of x comma y is defined as x minus y over 2. That means anywhere I see x, I'll put 0.1. I'll put 0.1 minus, anywhere I see y, I'll put what? 0.95366 and over 2. So when you press all this on calculator, what will our K4 give us? If you press all this, our K4 will result to this answer, minus 0.04268. This is what we get as our what? K4. So therefore, our final step to take is this result, this final answer. So for the formula, we are going to have this over the formula is straightforward. Yn plus y equals to yn plus, you know, the step length will now be divided by 6 for Jikuta. For our K4 method is over 6. Then I said write K1 here according to the pattern I gave you earlier. Write K4 here, for you to remember. Then plus, then plus. So what you have here now is now twice of what? K2 plus what? Twice of K3. That's all. So mind you, we are still on n equals to 0 for now, first iteration. So 0 plus 1, 1. Y naught plus step length 0.1 over 6, right? So what's my K1? I've gotten my K1 for my first, for what I underline here. I have my K1 as what? Minus 0.05 plus twice of K2. The result for K2 remains as minus 0.04625 minus 0.04625 Abby, plus twice of K3 is minus 0.04634, share you graph, then plus K4 is this result here, plus minus 0.04268. So whatever, okay, this y naught now is 1. Our y naught is 1. Remember, from the question. Our y naught is 1. So now, whatever you have to do now is, now my y1 now is equals to 1 plus 0.1 over 6 times all this addition. When you press everything on calculator, the result y1 will give us 0.95 369. This is all you get. This is my first answer. Remember that I missed something from the beginning. I always told you, before you start at all, if you are given a question like this, step length is 0.1, I did not ask you to look for 0.2. I asked you to start with, indicate this one first before you start at all. There's a reason. To avoid any confusion, to know when to stop. Because some people inside the exam hall, they might have forgotten themselves. All is like the normal number y of 0.2. You might not even bother to even check this. Maybe after going through this test, you just stop here and think this is the final answer, without knowing that that is not all. But this thing, you've done this you sketch this out now, whereby you have the first, your x naught, this horizontal, it is our x-axis. The first point for x is at 0, which represents my x naught. The step length is 0.1. If I take a step of 0.1, this will now be my x1, right? If I take the next one, Abby, what will this one be? 0.2. Share graph. That's my x2. So I think I need y1, y2, y3. In fact, this for our first result, Abby. So that's my first iteration. My second iteration is now when n is equals to what? 1, right? I'll now repeat the same. I'll go again with the same step. I'll repeat the same step again when n is equals to 1. So therefore my k1, I need to find k1, I need to find k2,